G'day everybody, it's Kim here from Kyms Homestead. How are we all? All going well, I hope? Well, today we have another video of what's to eat and what I've been getting up to this week. Have a look. Okay, we're going to be starting off this week with Wednesday, of course. Lunch and tea time was some savoury mince, rice and a piece of bread. Thursday was a nice sandwich, lettuce, tomato and a juice. Friday was just a piece of toast, an apple and some juice. Later that evening I had a couple of pieces of ham and pineapple pizza. Saturday wasn't much, just a ham sandwich and a glass of juice for lunch. And then I decided to do something with some apples that my sister had given to me. She went and picked some beautiful organic apples. They were absolutely gorgeous. There was no codling moth or rot in them. They were just perfect. So I decided to make some apple pie filling and put it on my shelves. So I just filled up a pot with water and put some lemon juice in it to stop the apples from going brown as they were being peeled. It didn't really take a great deal of time before they were all peeled and chopped up. I did try putting them into the jars at first, but the goop or the pie filling just wouldn't go into the jars very well. So I decided to just put it all back into the goop that I was making, and I filled it up from there. Now, the pie filling mixture that I'm making, I actually got off of Jessica from Three Rivers Homestead, and she's probably the best one I've found. She actually uses arrowroot instead of corn flour or clear gel. You can't get clear gel in Australia. Just can't get it. So I decided to go with her recipe and see how I went with it. So I'm just finishing up these apples here, and then I'll start making the goop. So you start with 9.5 cups of water, 4.5 cups of sugar, 1 cup of arrowroot, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/4 of a teaspoon nutmeg, 1/4 of a teaspoon allspice, and 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Now, I like sultanas with mine, so I also added a cupful of sultanas. Now I'll leave a link to Jessica's video where she makes her goop and leaves the recipe on her site, and you can click on that link and go directly to Jessica's video. So I've put all the ingredients into the pot here, all except for the arrowroot. I'm just mixing it in thoroughly, and then there goes the arrowroot. Now just mix that up to make sure there's no lumps or clumps in there. Then I'll add the sultanas, and I'll bring it up until it's just simmering, and that way it can thicken up. And this is where I throw the apples back into it, and they just sit there until I'm ready to can. And there it is, just simmering away, ready to go in the can, in the jar. So I've washed all my jars and they're sitting in hot water. So this is the only funnel I can use with these particular lug jars. It's a bit of a pain in the proverbial, but with a bit of a chopstick I can soon get them through. The goop makes it a little, well, actually a lot sticky. It's a very sugary mixture. I leave probably about an inch head space. Which is where it comes up to the rim of the jar. That's always a good indication. Got to leave enough air in there, or enough air pocket anyway. I probably didn't leave enough of an air pocket in the two that popped, and that's what you can get, unfortunately. A mistake well learnt. Try not to overstuff the jars. Yeah. In the meantime, as you see on the stove, I've got a pot of water coming up to temperature because this is a hot pack, so the water in the canner has to be hot as well. Would be nice to use the wide-mouthed funnel here, but I do try it, but unfortunately the next lot of jars are still too small. Yep, too small. Got to go back to the other one. And poke them through. It's pretty good that with the goop surrounding them, they just slide right into the jars and out if you tend to drop the funnel. Don't worry, my hands are really clean. Now I just got to clean up the goop. Now it's time to wipe the rims. I've already actually wiped them with water, but I want to make sure that the rims have got no goop on them because it was a pretty messy job. So I'm just going over them once again with a bit of vinegar, and that just cuts the sugar and makes sure that the rim is nice and clean. Now it's time to put on the lug lids. Well, actually first I go for the two-piece ones. Now time for the lug lids. No, more two-piece ones. They're the two that blew. There we go with the lug lids. Now they went into the canner, and when it was brought up to a boil, it processed for 25 minutes. Here one was a little bit over full, so I'm just taking out some of the goop. Don't worry, the spoon didn't go into another jar. It went in my gob and then in the sink.
And there we have 9 apple pie filling for the pantry shelves.
Well, I started with 12, but 9 is what I've got left. Then that night I just had a chop and some vegetables. Sunday, well, Sunday I was too crook to do anything with food, so I didn't bother with it at all.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. I didn't really get up to a lot of baking or anything like that this week. I'm afraid I wasn't sort of all there this week. Not that I am any time, but still. But I did, however, put together those apple pie, jars of apple pie filling for you. I did have 2 jars that I lost out of that lot, unfortunately. They blew the tops and all the contents spewed out into the pot, which was really annoying. It was probably at least about 1.5 apples that I lost. But I do have all the other jars, and they will go nicely in the pantry. Some I will give away, some I may actually use. So we shall have to see. I won't be using them straight away, of course, so it'll be a little while before I can. I'm not actually eating very much at all at the moment. Half of what you see I put on my plate, I usually chuck 2/3 of it out. So I'm afraid I just haven't been all the best this week. So I'm actually going to be finishing this video early. It's actually Monday today. And yesterday I went out pretty well all day. My carer took me out for a beautiful drive round the riverside and everything. It was lovely. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And then we went visiting for the rest of the afternoon. Coming home quite late yesterday, my carer picked up something for us to eat on the way home because it was too late to start cooking anything. Probably in the hope that I would actually eat something. But anyway. So for the next, today and tomorrow, honestly, it's just going to be fruit, maybe a sandwich, leftovers, whatever there is in the fridge. Nothing very exciting to film, that's for sure. I'm sure you all know how to make a sandwich, let alone a quarter of a sandwich. So that's why I'm going to be cutting this film short. But I do have the film of putting together the apple pie filling for you. So I hope you enjoy it. If you do, give me a big apple thumbs up. And if you're thinking of subscribing, that would be wonderful. It would help my channel out tremendously. Anyway, I will see you all again with another video very soon. All right. Bye, friends.